So I want to make this video, hopefully, I'm just going to talk about a brief few things that I think is important. I'm going to go into more details of it a little bit later. But as far as it goes with this experience happened over at this bar, there is another person that raped Frankie. I'm about 95%, not even more, 97, 98, almost 100%. So I'm going to draw the drawings to how it happened. I did tell my father, and it was me that stopped the situation. I walked to the pool table. My dad's at the bar. I drew this picture of the bar scene before. And we were at the bar. Me and Frankie were playing video games. And there was this guy in a t-shirt. He was about 6'2", 225. He's kind of had a beer belly. He was a big person. And there was... I didn't know where the smell went, and Frankie sort of disappeared, and there's not very many places that you can go to, but there was, I talked about, there was a sheet, and you walked right over there, and it was like, I think it was like the maintenance and some kitchen supplies or something. This was after Jack Murphy worked there. I walk over there, and I tell my father, it smells really bad, like what the heck is going on? And Frankie didn't want to say anything. And I must have been playing video games because there was some guy that went there, and I remember this guy walked by Frankie and he gave some sort of look at Frankie. And he walked by to the right side of the pool table and he was looking at Frankie. And this guy seemed to be kind of scoping the situation because we were just kids. And I always knew adults like that in bars, you always had to be worried about. And this was VFW, Veterans Fort Worth or whatever, Veterans. It stands for it's a veterans club. And this guy, I remember I was looking for Frankie and I couldn't find where he went once again. And I don't know if he heard me, but I heard some sort of either commotion or something. And I immediately saw some sort of some guy because the sheet was blocking off everything, like only the side you could see something. Like you could barely take a look that there was a sort of a open space between the sheet and the wall. And it looked like Frankie and this guy were doing something. And I don't know if I remember, I didn't see the whole thing. I didn't see anything. I just heard something and I said, Frankie, is it something was over there? And it sounded like sex. And as soon as I want to say as I grabbed the sheet or moved something like this, all I saw was they were I could even see Frankie bent over. I didn't see Frankie bent over. It was just I could just see that he was pulling up his pants and he was just immediately trying to cover it up. And I saw the guy do this. He walked, he was behind Frankie and he just slowly started walking a different direction toward the kitchen. And I said, what are you doing over there? What are you doing over there, Frankie? And I kept on asking Frankie, what are you doing? What were you doing over there? What are you doing over there? And he said, no. And he just looked at me like he was caught having sex. And I didn't know what he was doing. I was about 8 or 9 years old. I was not older than 10. I was about 8 or 9 years old. And I kept on saying, this smell smells really fucking bad. I mean, this wasn't feces, just the smell of feces. This was insides, human tissue. I know what that rectum smells like. It smelled really bad. And I went over there. I walk over and I'm like, what the heck? Why does this smell? And I didn't even want to walk in there because it smelled so bad. It smelled where is this coming from? It didn't smell this earlier. So this guy was training or manipulating, this guy gave some sort of sexual gesture to Frankie that this is what he was going to do to him or something. And there was another guy that looked like Ken Cooper, blonde hair, blue eyes, a belly, real short, he was almost like my height, short white guy. And he pulled the pool table to the wall. And he looked at that guy like he was gonna kick his ass, like, motherfucker, what are you doing? Like, he knew immediately what he was doing. And I get nervous because I'm like, because the guy that he was looking at, they look at each other like you're not supposed to be doing that. And so he then starts to act like, oh, like he goes over and he gets the pool table and he puts the ball on the pool table, and he sort of looks at me angry because he knows that I'm going over to my father, and I go and tell my father, and I said, hey, something's over there with Frankie, or something smells really bad if you go over there. And knowing how my father is, he walks over there, and I remember I walked with him, and both the guys are dogging down my dad like, you want some, motherfucker? This fucking blonde-haired shit motherfucker was protecting this guy. Even though he stopped him, he turned around and started protecting him like, no, he can get away with this. And my father just stands there, and I'm looking at my father, and my father looks up like, and this guy's kind of big. This guy's pretty big. And he sort of just stands near the doorway, and he just kind of goes, and I know this body language, like, I know this language is between homosexuals, or like, you know better than to do that, you know, like, it's like a gay communication or some shit. But it was a signal to understanding, and I could tell my father was kind of nervous. And Frankie was pissed because I kept on saying, and I said this in the car with him, with my father. I said, Frankie, what were you doing over there with him? And I don't understand because, you know, there can be some maintenance, pool table maintenance, something. I was like, what were you doing over there with that guy? And I was in the car with my father, and Frankie, when I looked at Frankie, and he looked at me like, don't say anything, like, don't say anything. And we're in the car. My father knew. And I want to say, even the car's like, what's that smell? Is that you, Frankie? So I think my father didn't know of this, but you can't do anything because you got two white guys and you're at the bar. And he's hoping, and he's like, well, I think he was kind of like, well, Frankie could kind of deal with it, or Frankie could kind of handle it. So this is what happened. I'm still going through the images of everything. I could draw a whole picture on how the walking procedures went. I'll draw this a little bit later. If I have anything to say, I'm 100% point on this. 100%. He raped him. Because, like, I want to say, because I remember I said, what are you doing? Because I was looking for, this place is really small. You can't go to very many places and hide. And I was looking for Frankie, and he just disappeared. And when I, like, moved the sheet, all I remember, I just saw him, like, moving really fast. Like, something that was, like, moving really fast. And the guy that was, like, I think penetrating him on the left side immediately goes like this and was walked away. And I just remember Frankie kind of, like, something with, like, his pants or like moving very quickly, because when I moved the sheet to see what was going on, and I thought that maybe I knew it was suspicious. It wasn't friendly, like, oh, you're just doing it. It was suspicious, and I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I told Frankie, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing over there? And I don't know if this guy was like, oh, hey, I want to show you something really cool, and he's trying to show him something. I hope nothing happened to Frankie, you know, what I'm thinking right now, or the last couple days, is I think Frankie probably pointed out every person he had ever been raped by. And then you all sort of correlate these things. But I had told my father, and I told this guy, and I shooed the guy away. I know you're going to think that I'm just trying to make myself into a hero. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. And the guy stopped because of that. But this guy didn't want to come back around. He did. When we continued to play, he just left, and he was in the kitchen or something. But I remember him walking by, and Frankie was about to shoot some pool, and he walked by me as he coming from the bar, and he looked over at Frankie and I remember he was kind of walking smooth, and Frankie looked over at this guy and gave him like a look that you're not supposed to give, or a look that. It wasn't normal. It was 100%. It was like, if I have anything to say about it now, it was a sex look that this guy was doing to him. It was ejecting something or appealing. I, to me, I'm trying to sort of size Frankie's personality up to why something like that. He just met somebody. Frankie never went back there again. I want to say that was the last time that he ever went there again, to that bar. But I was in the car and I told him, and I said, "What were you doing over there with that guy?" And my father looked at him and kind of like, you know, what are you doing over there? I think the sense of fear was applied to him not wanting to go get his gun and shoot this motherfucker. It was right across the street from Ed's joint. This is what I'm talking about whenever I tell you this. They're all know about these details, and they're out there covering it up and helping Sarah and Ken Cooper and that pig motherfuckers. This is all about covering this shit up. Now, I'm going to go into more details of it in another video and draw all the pictures over sometime during this week or over the weekend, or one of my days off, and show you how the procedures were worked out. So Frankie hopefully is perfectly okay. We can move on from this. Everything's burnt to the ground. It's not going to change. But this guy, he turned around and he looked at me and was like punking me out. This is who this guy. It was a bald, short little guy. He did look at that guy like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then he, like better, like, and so this guy kind of looked at him like, "Oh shit, here comes the gay guy that knows better," or some shit. Once he did this, the guy turned around and did it to me to not say anything. So this guy was trying to play hero and say, "You're not supposed to be doing that." This is a veterans club, okay? They had like veterans Tuesdays and Thursdays, or a couple days during the week. So there wasn't always people. It was a regular bar, but there were veterans that went there. So I wanted to say this very clear, because this is all going to be put on Sarah and Ken Cooper as heroes, as the biggest trash cans. These are filthy fucking pigs. My mother has no fucking idea. This is another one that raped Frankie. This is right across from Ed's joint, which was Chris Martinez used to get his hair cut. I told you, his dad knew about Bill when he raped Frankie, because I was there getting my hair cut when I saw. I have not been able to get a good haircut in years, since I was in my early 30s, because they fucked it up and they do all kind. This is the kind of lifestyle that they've been doing to me. Transgenders, all the LGBT community, this is what they've been doing to me. So this is why Miguel, when he was punking out Frankie, he continued to do it years after that. What do you think that's, why Miguel probably did it? Because look, who else did it? You see, I didn't do anything. He has the Bible. Oh, it's now it's time to go to the shithole. That's why. So I wanted to make a video on this to make sure this is very clear. This is over when the Michael Jackson situation happened. This is with the whole Bill situation. Whenever my father said I meant Michael Jackson, and then Bill raped Frankie. Okay, that's right across the street. How much gossip do you think went all over the place? Oh, guess what? We got a fresh piece of ass now. Oh, Barack Obama and the transgender daughter is going to clean it up. That's the shit that I'm talking about. Now, this is if this is, I have no idea. It makes me nervous to think about who else did this. How many? There's no way that this is just the 10 people. There's 8 to 9 that have been confirmed that I witnessed. This is another one to the count. If it's confirmed that Skivel, or I think one of them, I wasn't too sure, maybe he just got a blowjob, then there's 10. There's Miguel, my uncle, Tia, my grandpa, the guy that went to Licha's house, Skivel, the guy Tato's house, and there was like, I wrote them other names and pictures down to them, and their names, but there was, I remember at the Vermont Hotel when I was there, a total of about 8, or it was about 8 of them, 8 or 9 of them. So this would make it like 10. There's no way that this was there was other people I just wasn't ever around. I don't know why Frankie, unless Frankie was raped at school. I am not to say that maybe he was molested or raped. I don't think he. It's hard for me to think that why he couldn't walk and hold his bike and he was crying, and he couldn't sit down on the seat. And this was a number of days that this happened. I don't know. I don't know what that entails. I don't know if it's because. I don't know what that entails. I'm not the professional medical doctor that could tell you that when a child is being penetrated by an object like that, that it ruins someone's bowel system, or it just hurts. I know I've been raped before, and it was burning, sting, and it was screaming. But as I'm gonna tell you this, Frankie did not. He just going. There's no reason why. I remember this guy gave a sexual gesture at him. Now I want to say this very clearly, because the President of the United States is, and the white supremacy is going to help that fucking filthy pig and that Madison bitch that was out there taunting my dead sister. This is all about the white supremacy and the faggots. I'm already 40 years old in a month from now, and it is a little too late for any of that shit. So I want to make some drawings, go over it. But this guy, it was two of them. So once he got the fucking in, the other guy was, and he looked crazy. He looked like this little short guy looked crazy. He was pissed off at this guy, but he protected him. Like, oh no, he's white, remember? And I remember him putting the pool ball, and he like kind of hits it on the table, and like, you want to shoot to kill? And this is the sort of mentality, especially back then, because cell phones weren't around. During that time, violence was very different and primitive, more primitive than it is now, at least if I have anything to say with it. So I'm going to make a video on this. I'll talk about more details of it as I'm going through this sort of inventory, because they are going to throw this on the Christianity, Catholicism, garbage shit church. This is nothing about anything other than let's get away with it, so that the faggots can get away with it. And they can get away with raping me with a transgender, shooting me with electronic devices, and so on. But Frankie paved the way for me. Not only is he doing something like that, but he's paving a way for me in suffering in such a brutality way so that they get the profitable gain and get a good life out of it. Because Michael Jackson, you fucking piece of shit motherfucker, that's what it was. Because all the gossip was already going in circles and crazy. That's right across the street where the whole Bill situation happened. Right across the street. When I was a kid, my dad used to get real drunk, and I'd be picking him up off the street. Or like, he'd get out of the door, and I'd be picking him up, and he'd look over at Bill's joint, like, motherfucker. I swear my father would look all pissed off. He'd look, and he'd just give a nasty look, and just walk into his car. And he would do that every once in a while. I remember seeing him several times pissed off. That's the gossip went around within all the gays and figured out, hey, that's a fresh piece of ass we can get. I want to say that I remember Frankie being on the side, and I saw, I don't know if it was like the shadow, I don't know if it was the shadows that I could see kinda, and it looked like, and once I did this, because I could kind of see a slight slice that was between the wall of the door and the sheet that was hanging, and like I went like that, and that's whenever I saw. But I want to say that I felt like I could look right through the situation, and Frankie was being penetrated, but I didn't know what sex was. I didn't understand what this, because I could barely even remember I could even got raped as a kid. Like, it was just so fucking vague and so fast, and it happened to him, because Frankie, like, the only raping experience that I had gotten was, it lasted so fast and so quick that it wasn't enough for me to retain that memory where it was just sexual practice. Because when it happened with my uncle, it was giving oral sex, and then it was just like, what? And then my brother said, no, not you. And then I remember him sort of putting me in a safe area or living room area, and then he would take the brutality of it. And there was, like, when I was raped in Mexico, it happened like 5 minutes, like 10 minutes, enough for him to just get what he wanted. So in this particular situation, I'm 4 or 5 years old. I'm not understanding what this is. But my mom and dad are saying, just keep moving forward and just wash you off and do all this. So I want to say this because they're using very strict correlated religious persecutions to confine, including my dead sister, and they're confining all this to the Christianity church bullshit. Don't believe any of that garbage shit. Okay, what these people are doing are running their own. They want to get away with murder, and they want to get away with rape. This is why Miguel continued to do. Oh, because I didn't do anything. Look what all these other people did. Remember? Fuck you. That's exactly what's going on. You have Michael. You have these people spending this money. And this is the white guy. These are two white guys, and I remember my father was intimidated because I think that the reason that the guy showed up was because I went to my dad and I said, "Hey, it smells really bad out there. It smells really bad." I could not walk into the room because it smelled so bad. And I was like, "What the fuck? There's no cooking. There's just a garage, a pool table, and there's nothing in there. I don't even think they may have had darts in there, but that was it. That was it. There was nothing else, and I don't even think there was darts because they had just put that pool table wasn't there before. So there goes count number 10, count number 9 or 10. They're right there abusing the shit out of it for their glory, for Sarah and Kim, and giving them the money, making sure this goes to Michael Jackson and the faggots that they want to pick out. Whatever these other motherfucking faggots, whether it's Richard Murphy, John Murphy, his platoon leader, no, fuck you. From Michael Ross, I'm telling you, I'm saying this now because I can't do anything about it anymore. Whoever can explain this to my mother, Marco and Julian, I don't even know if Marco's old enough to even want to even know any of this shit, but Julian is. I don't know what to tell you. This is count number 10. If that's what I did, then that's what I did to try to put a stop to it. That's another one I put a stop to. So if I have anything to say with this, there's more. There has to be more that I wasn't around. I wasn't there at all. There has to be. There's no way you can get that number of people and think that, there had to have been. Maybe that was it, but I don't think there was. Because you don't understand how bad the homosexuals and the gay community went after my mother or my father. You don't know how bad they went after the teachers because of Michael Jackson, and the Jackson family. Now the President of the United States is going to McDonald's because then he wants to use political power and get the ass fucking credit. Oh, it's just political power to save a bunch of people. Gut this little child out. Yeah, I know, it's real cool. Hip-hop station with Keno with the faggots. Oh, transgender. So I wanted to say this. You make what you want of it. This is a token, like I said, you have to represent, say what the good and the bad is. This is why I wear, this, the natures of the yin yang, the natures of the world that we live in, that go full circle. People can believe what they want just because I'm not of your Catholicism belief systems, then that's on you. But they're persecuting me, and that's what they're doing. They're going upstairs. They're making me stand in front of a window that looks like a crucifix, and they're engaging in arguments and directing me to what religion is, and manipulating me, and then shooting electronic devices into so that I conform to their religious belief. That's Christian Neville, and that's Michael, this other guy, and this is what they're doing. If this isn't going to count and this is going to go to these pieces of shit, it's already is. I can't do anything about this. This fucking nigger Barack Obama, yeah, motherfucker. That's why he went to Michael Jackson to clean up his fucking colon. To clean up that shit. Because my mother spoke to the president right before 9/11 too, huh? Oh, and he rapes me? Oh, yeah. So I can't do anything about this. This is to help move forward. So like I said, I still have some Christmas gifts to send Frankie, Julian, the kid, the brothers I haven't even met yet, my mother, so hopefully I get that squared away, and I still got another 25 cards to complete today or tomorrow. So, that's another one that rapes Frankie. Michaela, I don't know if you're cleaning up too. I don't know what the situation is. There's not a doubt. You don't understand These filthy fucking Ken and Sarah Cooper. They're using this as a way to say and correlated to this so well. They correlated this so fucking precisely well. They know that they're going to put it on somebody that didn't even have anything to do with it, because it's going to be a white supremacy shovel cleanup. And they're entangling everything that they can. This corpse is just a coupon for Ken Cooper and Sarah Cooper and that pig-infested motherfuckers that were involved. It doesn't change any of this situation. I can't do anything about this. The President of the United States and motherfuckers, George Bush, they're ordering this shit. At least I'm doing the right thing. Like I said, it's a very prejudiced situation. Some people were making some racist movements and racial white supremacy, LBG. Like I said, I know how my life was and how I was treated. Trash, spitting, all the kinds of shit, foul mouth, or just call it psychotic bullshit. So if I have anything... I'll go make some more videos, talk about it more details, and I'll draw the pictures like I said. So that's what I got right now.